So friends, today, Kasoma Faruq of Uganda is going deep in the forests, where we are going to see the rise of USA and what? And Canada. So we are seeing the rise of United States and Canada as major powers was influenced by several factors. Factors. Among the factors, abundant natural resources. It is said large supplies of fertile land, forest minerals, coal, oil and other resources supported economic growth. I can tell you the existence of fertile land, forests, enabled the farmers to carry out farming, and this helped USA and Canada to do what? To rise and grow, because they had fertile what? Fertile soils. Which fertile soils were used to develop the countries? Then agriculture. We are saying today, extensive fertile lands encourage the large-scale farming and production of crops such as wheat. We believe by this time, wheat is a major resource that is used to make so many things. So by this, agriculture, in this kind of arrangement, because of the fertile lands, led to the production of crops like wheat, which was used in the production of other issues, and this led to the development and rise of USA and Canada. Then industrialization. We are saying today, factories, mining, manufacturing, and technological development greatly increase the production and wealth. Greatly increase the production and what? And wealth. I can tell you industrialization provided employment opportunities, and people had the ability to pay so many taxes. To pay so many what? Taxes. And in the game of taxation, the economies had to grow. Then immigration. I can say millions of immigrants provided labor, skills, ideas, and entrepreneurship, helping the economies grow. Those people that moved from other countries and settled in USA and Canada provided labor, skills, and ideas, and these skills were used to develop US and what? And Canada. Because the skills were beneficial to a country called USA and Canada. And ideas, the ideas of growth enabled USA and Canada to grow. Then transportation development, where I can say railways, roads, canals, and ports connected distant regions and encouraged trade and settlement. I can tell you the transportation development, railways, enabled the traders, the agriculturalists to move from one area to another. As they moved from one area to another, US and Canada had to rise and to develop because of transportation development. I can tell you transport is very important if the economies are to grow. Another one, trade and commerce. Both countries developed strong domestic and international trade, especially with Europe. I can tell you, trade is very essential and very important if the economies are to grow. So by this time, trade and commerce, where both countries developed stronger domestic and international trade, as they developed stronger domestic and international trade, this helped US and Canada to get a lot of money in form of taxes, because the traders were paying so many what? Taxes. Then political stability. I can tell you stable governments and legal systems encouraged investment, business development, and settlement. As there was political stability, this kind of political stability encouraged the investment. Because people were assured of the stability, they settled in US and what? And Canada. As they settled, they developed the economies of USA and Canada. I can tell you political stability is very important if we economies are to do what? To grow. Because the investors are assured that their things are not going to be destroyed. Another one, education and technology. Growth in education and innovation improve the productivity and industry. As the people attained education, innovation had to be got in US and Canada. As innovation was got in US and Canada, it is this that led to the development of US and what? Canada. Because by this time, the educated innovated so many things. As they innovated so many things, the economies of these countries had to grow. Then large domestic markets. I can tell you, their large populations and expanding territories created strong markets for goods and services. Large domestic markets. I can say the domestic market, because of the high population, the traders were assured of the market, and this led to the growth and development of US and what? And Canada. Then urbanization. Have we talked about it? Yes. Urbanization. Growing cities became centers of industry, finance, trade, and innovation. As the towns developed, I can tell you, the towns became centers of industry, finance, trade, and innovation. Where the towns, people developed, people came up with industries, and the economies of USA and Canada had to do what? To grow. Another point, foreign investment. Foreign investment. Foreign what? Investment. I can tell you, investment from Britain and other European countries helped develop railways, industries, mines, and businesses. So foreign investments, as the foreigners invested in USA and Canada, it is this that led to the rise of US and what? And Canada, where the foreigners invested in so many things, and I can tell you, US and Canada had to develop. Then military and territorial expansion. Military and territorial expansion. I can tell you, expansion of territory provided access to more land and resources, and this increased the economic and political influence. So military and territorial expansion, as US and Canada developed militarily and expanded, I can tell you the land that they got in other areas led to the development of US and what? And Canada. I can tell you, US and Canada developed because of several reasons. Because of several what? Reasons. So we are honoring the legacy of great leaders who came up later, like George Washington. By the way, is the reason why a city called Washington, D.C., they named the city after him. What kind of legacy is this? I can tell you, Washington, D.C., Washington, District of Columbia. So in this kind of arrangement, US and Canada